If you want to master the game of follow-up, never ever say the word follow-up, especially client on the phone. My name's Alex Sharafuddin. I've been doing sales for the last 20 years, 10 years in street sales, 10 years in phone sales, leading sales, consulting sales, sales academy, millions and millions of dollars grossed. And today I'm going to be breaking down for you 5 tips/rules that I have when it comes to following up without saying following up. Prospecting, hunting your pipeline. Rule number 1. And this one is prior to the follow-up, but it has everything to do with the follow-up, because if you don't have this one down packed, then you really can't follow up with purpose. And that is having a good first initial conversation that leads to a good understanding of the client's life. Why is this so important? Because if you talk to a client the first time and it's a dry conversation and you don't really got a deep understanding of their life, then it leads to your follow-up/prospecting. It's not going to be strong at all because you don't really know the real reason why they need to do this or why they need to take your product or service. So I always say if the first conversation was deep and impactful and had a lot of substance inside of it, you could take that substance and it could lead into your follow-up. Meaning you leave good notes inside of that client's file. So when you follow up with them the next day, you see those notes, you're like, all right, this client here needed to do my program because their pain points were A, B, and C, or their pleasure points were A, B, and C. And then when you call them and leave a voicemail or text them and email them, you could say, hey, Jamie, love talking to you yesterday. I know it was very important for us to do blah, 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 and blah, whatever they told you. So I want to make sure I get you on the line so we can go over the next steps today. So that little piece there, those guts come from the first conversation. So the first rule/tip of great follow-up is have a first good interaction that you leave notes on so you could use that as an icebreaker in your follow-up. Number 2, always know the best contact time for your prospect. Meaning a lot of times you don't ask somebody when's the best time to call them back. We just call them back the next day randomly according to our schedule. But how about if you knew exactly what time Brian was driving to work for 30 minutes and when he had 30 minutes to talk to you? Or what if you knew exactly what time Brian had a lunch break? What if you knew exactly what time Brian walks out of work? What if you knew exactly what time Brian was with his wife Jessica after they had dinner? How much more powerful would your prospecting be? Because a lot of times I tell people it's all about timing in this game. And if you could find out the perfect timing for your clients and then call them at that perfect timing, it'll double and triple your conversion on follow-up. Now, here's the crazy part. Think about all the salespeople in the world. They don't know the best time to call their people. They just call them when they come in the morning, or in the afternoon, they're in their follow-up hours, or in the evening after they got smashed all day, and they want to follow up just to follow up to get out of the office. So you have to be getting your ideal times from your client of when they could speak to you. And if you get those times and put them in the system or put them in your notes and know exactly when to reach out to them, you're going to see everybody picking up because you're calling them at the right time. Which leads me to number 3. How about getting a second phone number? I remember one time I had a sales team and we made it a rule to get an emergency contact or a second number from every single person we spoke to. And because that was a rule and that was something we had to enter in before even putting it in the system, everybody was forced to get a second number at emergency contact. Well, guess what happened? We had so many situations where one of the spouses wouldn't answer us. So we'd call the other spouse, the husband or the wife. They would answer. We'd be like, hey, did Jamie talk to you? We were talking to her yesterday about blah, 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 and why it made so much sense for you. And then we start talking to the wife or the husband and start selling them on the idea and why this makes sense. And they go and grab their spouse by the shirt and get them on the phone call. Or daughters and sons or neighbors or even house numbers or work numbers. So many times clients freaked out because they misunderstood something and they thought they were getting a bad deal, or maybe they misinterpreted the numbers of the program and the way it worked. And usually when that happens, these clients run away and never answer you. Because we had a second number or an emergency contact, we were able to contact either a loved one or find those people on the phone by them accidentally answering their work line or their home line, and then figuring out the problem, resolving that problem, and continuing to move the business forward. All of this was done because we had a second number or an emergency contact. So rule and tip number 3 is get a second number and get an emergency contact for every single person you speak to. It's going to change the game for you completely. Which leads me to rule number 4/tip number 4, which is land, air, and sea communication. I've been saying this for so long. I've been doing this for so long. And I'm telling you, I don't know why it's so hard for salespeople to do this and make it a habit, but it's very simple. Don't just call. Don't just text. Don't just email. Don't just leave a voicemail. But call and leave a voicemail, then send a text and send an email every single time. Let me tell you from my own data what happened when I've been doing this for 10 years. I get people that will not answer my phone calls, not answer my texts, but they send me an email back. You know why? Because maybe old John is on his computer all day at work and he's on top of his emails and he doesn't fuck with his phone or even look at it. In that case, he's an email communicator. You know how I found that out? It's because I email him every single day. Or maybe Stacy never ever answered my emails, but she answers my text within seconds. Maybe Stacy hates emails. She doesn't use her computer and she loves to text. Or maybe Benjamin hates texting, never answered a text, doesn't even go through on his phone. I think he has it blocked. Doesn't know how to read an email. He returns my voicemails. He likes checking his voicemails. He respects it and he returns only my voicemail calls. I found this out because I left him a voicemail 3 days in a row. What I'm trying to tell you is you have clients who like communicating through the phone. You have clients who like communicating through the email. You have clients who like communicating through text because it's easier. You're not going to know what kind of client you have until you either ask the client or, in my case, do all four every single day. Call, leave a voicemail, text, leave an email. Whichever one they respond to is the one they like. Go deeper into that door. A lot of salespeople, and I see it every single day, they call, but they don't text. It takes you 6 seconds to send a text message. Why would you be so lazy to call? Or they text, but they don't call. It takes you 8 seconds to call and let it ring 3-4 times. Or they call, but they don't leave a voicemail. It would have took you 15 extra seconds. Like, look, this extra 30 seconds I'm asking you for, instead of you going around and hip hurraying about doing 300 dials in a day, do 100 dials in a day and send text, emails, and voicemails for every single one of those dials. And that's more effective than doing 500 dials with nothing else. So land, air, and sea is number 4. Leads me to the 5th and final tip/rule is be consistent and put it all out there on the field. And go all in on the follow-up. Number 1, I go 7 days of straight follow-up, land, air, and sea before I even give up. And throughout those 7 days, if I'm not getting a response, I throw every single play in the book, including Hail Marys, to get them to answer. The second day, I'm like, hey, is everything okay? And third day, I'm like, hey, did you not like the cost maybe? Fourth day, I'm like, hey, are you shopping this around? Fifth day, hey, should I send the help car to your house? Sixth day, like, hey, I'm about to cancel this. Are you sure you don't want to do it? Seventh day, it's like, hey, this is the final time I'm going to reach out to you. Like, I'm sending out everything in the book to get them to answer. You're doing that for 7 days. If they don't answer, withdraw them, put them in automation. But for those 7 days, I'm throwing out every single Hail Mary. So when they don't answer and I withdraw them and said every single thing in my power to get this person to answer, I'm comfortable with withdrawing this person and moving on because I did everything. A lot of salespeople withdraw too fast. They don't put it all out there on the field. They don't do land, air, and sea. They don't do 7 days. They don't throw different plays out. When in reality, all you had to do is say something a little bit different, or maybe catch the objection, or catch why they're not answering you, and you would have had that deal all day long. And that's number 5. Out of these 5 tips, I want you to ask yourself, which ones are you doing? Which ones are you not? And give yourself a grade by the end of this video of how you think your follow-up is. Then your only goal and task after this video, to try to do all 5. And if you could do all 5, I guarantee you your follow-up conversion will double. How do I know? Because I teach this, I preach this, I do this, and it works. If you want to learn more about our follow-up drip campaign, strategies, live calls, objections, formulas, it's all inside Acez Academy and our Sales Academy. We also have a Leadership Academy with the same and a Mortgage Academy with the same. If you're in leadership, sales, or mortgages, there's something in there for you. Playbook, planner, blueprint, and a virtual training academy like a genie at your fingertips where you could search for what you need, included with weekly live calls. And if you don't have the budget for it, that's probably the reason why you need it. But we do have a free community for you as well with a free training that you could join on acezacademy.com. Lastly, like, subscribe, and share this channel with anybody you love before I send you a text, an email, and a voicemail every single day for the next 7 days to make sure you do it. And see Acez.